Welcome everybody to Samudra Shakti Online. I'm glad you're here. If you're joining us on Zoom, please mute your microphones when you're not speaking. Use the chat box for questions and conversations, and hover at the bottom of your screen for the controls to appear. We do have Becky Ventura here tonight. She's helping out behind the scenes. She'll be helping out monitoring the chat and fielding anything, as well as Tezra Bryant. She'll be helping us out as well. My name's Lisa Long, and I'm a certified teacher on the East Coast of the United States in Florida. We have a planning committee that brings us Samudra Shakti Online, and this is our planning committee. It's Deb Payne, myself, Maduri Martin, and Kim Friedman. I just want to tell you how Samudra Shakti Online started. It started from a live event out west 2 years ago in the Colorado Rocky Mountains of the United States. It was in that space that all the licensed teachers in the United States gathered and came together for Anusara yoga. And the Shakti and the energy was so high that we wanted to continue that passion. And we created Samudra Shakti Online. So tonight we have Rudrani Farbman Brown joining us. Rudrani founded and directs the World Yoga Center, and it's one of the oldest in New York City. She founded it in 1972, and it's almost 52 years old. As well, the World Yoga Center has been affiliated with Anusara School of Hatha Yoga for over 20 years, and it's one of the leading teacher training programs with a global connection. Rudrani literally holds the space and light for the global community of seekers. And she teaches Hatha Yoga, meditation, as well as leading monthly satsangs and co-leading the Anusara immersions, teacher trainings, and retreats. She has been a teacher of meditation, philosophy, and transformational practices for over 4 decades. She's a charismatic teacher, an innovative counselor, and she also maintains a private counseling practice. I'm delighted to welcome Rudrani. And so I'm going to stop my screen share and hand it off to you, Rudrani. Welcome.
My beauties. Wow. Oh my. How incredible. So wonderful.
So nobody here is new to the first principle. Nobody's new to this, but it's so powerful and it's so central. And so let us dive into this together. I'm going to refer to the revelatory force, that is the principle of grace, as a she. And she is the revelatory force of our own self. And she has the power to know herself from within us. But we cannot know her, just the way the moon cannot light up the sun. Because this moonlight comes from the sun. So it's only the sun that can light up the sun. And it's only the self, our true source, our true core, that can know itself. It is self-knowing. And the revelatory aspect of our own self comes down from those of you, or all of you, who've studied the tattva systems in tantric metaphysics, something that is so helpful for us. It's a skeletal frame of metaphysics that makes our own unfolding experience come alive. And this revelatory aspect of ourselves is coming down from those uppermost tattvas, those principles of creation, prior to form, and they're in us. They live in us already, naturally. So I wanted to do a process, but I was thinking there were lots of people that were going to be, were not already teachers. So I will do a shortened form. I just want you to close your eyes. Imagine we had loads of time to meditate and we're heading into a meditation. And in our preparation, we leave our shoes outside. And now we're in a tabernacle of many sacred spaces put together. And the first thing with leaving outside with our shoes is, let's leave outside with our shoes all the roles that we play. Mothers, daughters, sons, brothers, uncles, parents. Just leave the roles you play outside. Leave your thoughts about your body and the medical issues, and just put that outside with your shoes. And leave outside your opinions about what the world needs. Leave outside what is concern about the people you love, and your concern about the future of the human family. Leave outside your strong opinions about the divisiveness in this country. Leave outside with your shoes what is the grief you carry about our rivers, our air, our oceans, and the rest of life, and leave outside with your shoes the overwhelming reality of social inequity in our country as COVID unfolded, and where we stand with all that. And leave outside the sense of loss that many of us are carrying for people who have gone. Leave outside with your shoes your family dynamics, the people who are impossible to get along with, the people whose connection and love you crave. Leave outside what you know are your failings, what you're working on. Leave outside what is your abilities on the mat, and what you feel about your sadhana, your journey. And just for a moment, just get the feeling, leaving outside the emotions that you feel like right now, leaving outside with your shoes, your degrees, your trainings, your education, your story, what happened, what you know are the constructs of your own personality. Just put it all outside. And let's see what we have. Put your emotions, including the ones that are inside you right now. Put your thoughts, if you can, outside. Let's just put outside even what we want for the world. What day it is, what time it is, what country we're in, what others in our family are doing right now. What's going to happen next? Put that outside. What we'll be doing in a little moment. And let's just sit for a moment. Can you put the skills you have outside? The inadequacies. The things you feel early in the morning when you can't sleep. And let's see, my beautiful and sophisticated, illustrious company. What's left? Let's make a pot of words. Because we're still here together. So what is here? What do you know that's here, aside from the movement of our breath, the beating of our hearts? And we'll make a pot of words. Something we like to do in our trainings. You just call out a word, not a long thing. And we'll write it in the chat box. And let's see if we can create a description on everything transient.
You want us to unmute our mics, Rudrani, and just start saying words, and then we'll put the words in the Dropbox?
I love that idea. Okay. Galactic web. Just keep saying it because we are going to be short of time. Just say anything that came up.
Peace and contentment.
Peace and contentment. No thing.
Love.
Love. Stillness.
Presence.
I didn't hear that. Say it again.
Presence.
Presence. Peace. Scintillating spaciousness.
Connection.
Connection. Soul.
Peace.
Say it louder for me.
Peace.
Peace.
Boundlessness.
Boundlessness.
Freedom.
Freedom. Awareness. Love. Just, I wish we had a long time. I was telling Lisa and Becky, I've never tried to do anything in a half an hour, so I'm going to just keep moving. I'm very proud of all of you that you leapt in. Silence. I know there's more, but you are describing what is the true innermost core of all of us. Many islands, one sea floor. You're describing what is the integral awareness of oneness at the root of our being. And that being is your true self. Its origins are beyond the finite, it's beyond time. It's always present. We chant this in our opening mantras. Never absent. It doesn't pulsate. It has no attributes. It knows itself. This is Prakasha Vimarsha. It's pure I am. No scientist needs to prove to us. It's the space in which our lives unfold. And that which knows it within us is the revelatory aspect of it, of consciousness. We're describing consciousness. It has no form, yet it has the capacity to manifest. And it does. It manifests as this multi-universe where now the black holes have been mapped, and dark matter, where there's 100 billion galaxies, and we're in an immensity, the origins of which are formless, sovereign, free power that's of the nature of love, of stillness, of peace. And this is inside of all of us. So this knowledge of this, the ability to know this, is the first principle of grace. Grace refers to the revelatory aspect of the inner consciousness. This is not something you don't know, having studied this. So we've defined this, and there are teachings that come with this that are natural to us, that our true being is, we're never far away from it because we are coming from it. We're the expression of it. This part of us can never be apart from us. It's the core of being. It's the truth of who we are. And whether we're aware of it or not, it is. This is the real. In our last satsang Thursday, we took that chant, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from the finite to the infinite. Sometimes it's translated from death to immortality. It's an ancient Upanishadic verse. We translate it in the tantric way. I think you'll like this too. Rather than be seekers, rather than petition to be led to the real from the state of unreality we live in, which is the waking dream, the egoic dream, is to stand in our true being and try to notice what pulls us away. We might as well stand in it and see what takes us away, rather than ask for it. So we retranslated that beautiful prayer or sloka, I am the real. I am the luminosity, the conscious radiance, the light. And I am the imperishable, the infinite. And we sometimes feel that we get some peace. Sometimes we feel we get some love. Sometimes we feel we get some joy, freedom. But that's from the viewpoint of duality. That is from the viewpoint of the seeker down here in form. But if you travel to your root, if you use this part of your consciousness, that is the revelatory aspect of consciousness, it's fueled by your Ichcha Shakti, your will, your intention. If you move there, you'll see that you're the one that comes and goes from this truth. It doesn't come and go. And people say, I lost my peace. Things were going so well. And then, so we're the ones that come and go from something, and whether we ignore it or just miss it or just don't pay attention to it, or as Ramdas, one of the teachers so impacted me in the 70s, that generation, where he said, if you're in love with your incarnation, you're not done with this, the highs and lows of it and the suffering of it. In Tantra, we are learning to stay tethered to that root source, that we're embodied expression of this true reality, the supreme, the infinite, the imperishable, experiencing the highs and lows of our human nature without totally losing awareness of what we are. The principle of opening to grace doesn't happen just as we craft asanas on the mat or sit to meditate and use the mantras we love. The Om Namah Shivaya mantra, Sanskrit mantra that's so potent, it's Chaitanya, it's alive, or use the versions that of Hamsa, the sound of the breath, its frequency, its vibration, or the still points where is a nanosecond where it's neither in nor out, that brings you into the abode of peace. Or there's one more we like to use in Hamsa, which is the prana apano wheel. It looks like two, but it's really one, the breath. You could swear it's in two parts. It goes in and it's cool, and when it goes out, it's warm. Your lungs, your diaphragm does one thing one way. Out here in the outermost, there's the appearance of this and that, and us and them, and me and you. But a wheel takes you into the heart of life that is a continuum of outpouring, of expression that's inhabiting and pervading us. So the principle, the paragraph that I wrote to invite us into this was to make the principle of grace, which is to flow in the revelatory aspect of our nature, the part of our consciousness that uses the subtle effort to live in the knowing of our innermost origins, to take a stand for that and to make it the foundation of our life journey, and to shift. I like to remind us that the astronauts of every country have something that they gave a name to that is very, like only pilots could have come up with this one. They call it the overview effect. But if you've read some of the writings of the Apollo 11, when they were in the Kitty Hawk, and we love to read this, where Edgar Mitchell, he said that every molecule of his body was no different than the molecules of the spacecraft and the firmament and the turning of the Kitty Hawk and the sight of the planet. And they asked these astronauts, well, what is it that starts this overview where you are impacted by a deep and powerful sense of oneness energetically, something that you can never unknow? And they all say the same thing, which is it's the sight of the earth from space. It makes you want to cry because here we are on it, lost in so many things that are full of limitation. So when we get on the mat, and now in the time I have left, I'd like to list a whole bunch of practices that add to our life on the sticky mat, where every pose is a door, a portal through the first principle. And when we sit on our meditation cushion and we use the breath as our mantra, the Hamsa versions or the Sanskrit mantras. And it's essential that we call home, so to speak, like every day, but also all during the day, because it's how we direct the mind, and it's also what actions we take and how we take charge of the mind. So here's my list. I'm going to run through this, and then I have stories to tell, but only if I have time. Here are some practices on how to stay awake, how to have the overview effect, how to not ignore what we're in, so that the struggle and sometimes the contraction of the circumstances of our lives and the decisions we have to make and the losses we bear and the joys we experience, that it's all those things happen within an unbroken unity with the great all there is that is our innermost core expressing through us, that we don't lose that. So how do we stay awake? So here's my list, it's fast. One is that once you have an understanding of the boundless, infinite part of your nature, even if it was a glimpse, like a match you lit in a closet that was dark and you saw all the stuff in it, then the match burned out and it was dark again, but it's too late, you know what's in there, even if it was just a glimpse. So once that happens, it starts a self-propelled journey because we want more of that. As it says in the Bhagavad Gita, you will do what your ignorance seeks to avoid. Don't you love that? Makes you feel so safe, You will do what your ignorance seeks to avoid. So one is that to know the journey is self-guided and it's unfolding and it's self-propelled. And this will help you because people want externals, fame and recognition, approval, expectations, respect, and we want these things and we have to do so much to get these things. But when something is self-guided, it's unfolding. And to know that that unfolding within us is the same as the great unfolding of the great all there is, because we're part of it. Another is steady practice. This is one of the things we learned in COVID, is what it means to stay together, to see the same faces, to meditate together, no matter what you're going through. Mediation, divorce, your brother died, you have cancer. People go through tremendous things. And in our vulnerability and in our unmasking, there is the amplification of our ability to stay connected to what is the real, the light, the infinite within all of us. So here's my list. Remember your intention through ordinary life to live the integral awareness of oneness. So that self makes the decisions. We do what love, supreme love would want. To welcome pain when it helps us let go of the way we get distracted from our true self. It hurts when we do that. We make mistakes, there are consequences, they're not punishments, is to welcome that. My teacher always says this, that meditation on the self, the grace of the supreme guru within, that we chant, Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchit Ananda Murtaye. We're talking about ourselves, that when there are consequences, it's because we got distracted from that. We tried to find fulfillment in limitation, and you can't win that. You just can't win. Even if it's good, it's going to get bad again because of the nature of form. Another is to be the golden link in the generational stream. Those of us who are parents, try to interrupt what went down karmically. It's not to make our parents wrong, but it is to refine, like a smelting fire that removes the dross, like how you purify gold, and be the golden link in the generational stream. Another is to live to serve the self within, the golden beauty and the core of everybody. So you meet people who are very closed over. They're deep in their story. They're judgmental. They blame. They make themselves wrong. They have a terrible climate of self shutdown or shut down from themselves. Is to live to serve what you know everybody is made of, the authentic self of all. To know you have choices. So this has to do with managing the mind, gain control over your mind. Manage your mind when it's in turbulence. Don't trust the way you see yourself when you're turbulent. Don't create assumptions about others when you're turbulent. Don't do anything when you're turbulent. Let emotions flow through you. Use that as information. Like, oh, wow, this is what jealousy feels like. That's incredible. Oh, this is painful. Oh, so this is what it feels like, you know, to be obsessed, to want to get even. You know, welcome your shadow. Just don't do anything. Don't do anything. And let your reactions and your interpretations come under your dominion, your control. Control your reactions and your interpretations of your emotions. This is how to manage the mind. Learn to manifest from yourself. So you have choice, what we call pratipaksha bhavana. When you head off what are, you know, your not good patterns. We all have some. Some of us put things off till tomorrow. Some of us have to get there first. And we use that knowledge of patterns and head them off at the pass. Pratipaksha bhavana is to pause and remember your intention and live by your commitment to your icha, shakti, your force of will, intention, higher will, to cleave to revelation and not to concealment. Now I'm speaking Tantra, but you are teachers. And to manifest from your own self and live your wisdom. A conscious person has wisdom. You know, my dad used to say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I had never, as a child, had a clue what he meant. Like what I thought, it didn't make any sense. Why is your good intentions, why is that what paves the road to hell? Is that you can't manifest without wisdom. The good intentions are not enough. It needs to be connected and tethered to what is everything you said it was in the beginning: freedom, peace, stillness, silence, love, galactic. I think it was Will, but now I can't remember what went with galactic. You'd have to unmute and remind me.
Galactic web. Galactic web.
Thank you. The web, to know we are part of that, to know always that we are part of that, to not ignore that, and to live. Not the ego is always insufficient. It's constructed on memories and on historic conditioning, and it never feels really secure for long. So to try to change that feeling of lack by doing anything is not going to work. There's some part of us that is identified egoically to the small, limited, unawake, ordinary mind. And there's no way out but practices from that, because if you don't live in being, what you manifest will not be permeated with the light and not give you the fulfillment that you want. So not to try to change those uncomfortable feelings about yourself by doing anything, but rather put your attention again and again to living in your true being. Place your sense of identity in your source. Stay tethered to that ever-present, never absent, nishprapanchaya, shantaya. It's the nature of peace. It's always there. The background of our unchanging awareness. That's where we are held. That's who we are. And we have choice within that. We have creativity within that. We can engage fully with the world This is the principle of grace and its mystery, because we just fall asleep. So here's some extras for our reentry. Use your talents. Keep whatever you gained in COVID. There's no turning back. No. Don't lose yourself again in distractions. See your individuality as unique, but not special. Like a snowflake. There's none other than that snowflake. But it doesn't walk around in some hierarchy. Be present for people and learn to listen, because you're hearing a universe, another piece of what is the divine, or the overview, the expression of supreme energy. So if there's any time, and I think that Lisa's going to tell me, I will read a couple of verses that come from a text that's sung in ashrams all over the world. Do I have time for that, Lisa?
Absolutely, you have time.
Don't you love the way she said that? Was so encouraging. Was that really encouraging? The Guru Gita is thousands of years old. It's from a text called the Skanda Puranas. In my training, we sang this. It has 182 verses, and with the kirtans before and after, it takes 2 hours. And I said I would never sit in any ashram and chant a chant like this. And there were periods where it's the kind of practice where when you come out of it, you could tear buildings apart with your bare hands. It is so full of juice, and it contains all the teachings of yoga in a form that's absolutely, our culture is allergic to it, in Guru Bhakti, devotion to the Guru. But the principle of Guru is within, so not to worry. Here's what some of the verses I picked out for us. They're talking about the Guru within. That is the revelatory force, that principle of grace within us. It brings all the worlds and creates all the worlds and brings nourishment. And it has the viewpoint of all holy scriptures. It regards wealth as useless. It removes faults. It remains focused on the ultimate. Its only goal is to lead one to liberation. It showers the nectar of compassion. It's the aggregate of all the principles of creation, the descent into form, the tattva system. It creates all time. And due to inflated pride and ego, even those equipped with the power of austerities, they can do tapasya, they can do rigor and also study. They will still continue to revolve in the vortex of worldly life, like pots on the water wheel, unless this is alive in them. The grace principle, in which we've extricated from its velcroed attachment to what is the limited, freed it so that it can begin to rest in the unseen creative force beneath all form. So it is this physician for the disease of worldly existence. Whatever is transient, if you ascribe what's transient to the self, you should discard that. That's why we left everything that we could possibly be either ashamed of or proud of, all our accomplishments. We left everything outside with our shoes, and you came up with a scriptural definition of pure self that was so beautiful. Everything is the ultimate, imperceptible, eternal, highest, without attributes. It's all pervasive. It has no particular abode. And just as water merges in the ocean, so the soul merges in the universe. So let's learn to abide in being and not be like Mohini. Lord Vishnu and the three gods up in Mount Kailas had a very sticky problem. There was Ravana, the multi-headed demon who had turned the land into a wasteland of evil and darkness and wrongdoing, and nobody could slay him. And they appointed Lord Vishnu to go down disguised as the seductress Mohini. And what a knockout she was. This was no fooling around siren, okay? She comes down there, gets herself somebody who'll challenge Ravana in a duel. Ravana falls insanely in love with her, has to have her, and he gets killed. And now Lord Vishnu's job is done. And they wait for him to come back to Mount Kailas, but guess what happened? Tell us. Oh, he's talking in Spanish. Is that it? I thought I wanted you to unmute and tell me. So what happened is Mohini set off with an entourage looking really good and to find a husband worthy of her beauty. And so this is the joke of this beautiful tale, is that some part of us, like Ramdas, still wants to stay asleep. There's some payoff in it for us, even if it's painful. So we have to meditate our way out of this. And meditation we're talking about is the Maha meditation. It means it includes Hatha Yoga. A Hatha Yoga class itself has seva in it because we're doing it with each other and for the self of all. It has teachings, it has pranayama, it has what is yoga nidra, the deep relaxation of shavasana. It has meditation, not tacked on, but running through the teachings. It's a very rich practice. And then everything you think, we witness. And so we, off the mat and off the cushion of meditation, the Maha Yoga exists in all the means, what we call the upayas. Shaktupaya, Shambhavupaya, Anava Upaya, on the mat, making pilgrimage, lighting candles, loving one another, serving. So I'm going to close worshiping you, my beauties. You are, beloved. We are the real. We are the luminous, conscious self. We are timeless, eternal, imperishable being. May we flourish. May we pass through this time and succeed as a human family in solidarity and collaboration and awakenment. And you are out there transmitting, so bravo, do it more.